Hello Seekers, welcome to Punneit Astrology, your one-stop astro channel. Mars will move in Virgo from 18th of August till 3rd of October. A big transit, and Virgo is natural 6th house. This is a Mercurian zodiac sign. So when Mars moves in a Mercury zodiac sign, it will build strategy, it will plan a lot, it will make you think. For some, it can become a reason of great motivation, and for some, it can become a reason of inspiration. Mars with Mercury is like pen and ink, and you are ready to write things with your own hands. So this is going to give you that motivation, that push that you needed, really needed from a very long time. Sun will also be in Leo from 17th of August. So this is kind of perfect situation. Mars will be in Uttara Falguni Nakshatra initially in the Virgo zodiac sign, and because Mars, Sun and Mercury energy are coming together, it is more like enthusiastic knowledge that makes you very motivated, that you want to execute, you want to build on something. So it's great for people who want to build startups, who want to move to a new job, who want to do something big. It is good for writers, it is good for journalists, athletes. It's great for people who are always on the move, who are in the travel industry. So Mars in Virgo is actually very, very good, especially because Virgo is the 6th house. When Mars goes in 6th, it helps you fulfill your prarabdha, cut down on your debt, and focus on the positive side of life. This can be the energy that we were waiting for from a very long time. Let's understand for each ascendant what Mars in Virgo has to offer. But before that, do not forget to subscribe the channel, hit the bell icon to get notifications. Also, you can follow me on Telegram, where I upload link of all my platforms. Share the video. Here is an appeal. Please share the video among family and friends. Share the video in your social media so that the word of Vedic astrology spreads. This also tells YouTube that Jyotish is important. And if you want to take my consultations, you can drop me an email. Let's begin ascendant-wise analysis. Aries. Now for Aries, Mars rules your 1st house and 8th house, and this Mars will move in Virgo, that is your 6th house, on 18th of August. So you can understand that 6th house is the house of enemies. It is the house of disputes. It is the house of war. It is the house where there is competition. It is the house of action. It is one of the Upachya house, as well as it is a Trikbhava. But your ascendant lord coming in 6th house shows that you will have to focus on your prarabdha, on your duties, and on your responsibilities. On top of that, your 8th lord coming in 6th house also indicates a Vipreet Rajyog, which means there will be situations where because of problems and because of hurdle, you will have to end something in life. Let's take an example. You are doing a business, and because of lot of losses or obstacles, now you decide to put an end to this. Maybe you are selling it, maybe you are wrapping it up. But this is going to work in your favor because Mars in the 6th house actually destroys enemies, and it actually works for you. Just that you have to understand that you are not taking a risk towards your health. Your health is your wealth during this time. And Mars will ensure that your focus, your energy is directed towards 3 things. Number 1, cancellation of debts, reduction of debts. Number 2, fighting off the negative energy through a lot of positivity, through a lot of enthusiasm, maybe through healing, and taking care of your health. And number 3, solving your disputes and addressing matters that were not addressed till now. For students, it's going to be a time when you will have to put your entire focus in your studies and focus on competitive examination. And anyone who is preparing for competitive examinations such as IAS, IPS in India or globally, you will have to put your extra effort there. You will have to go an extra mile. See, when 8th lord comes in 6th house, 8th house is also about uncertainty. So when Mars sees itself in the 6th house, it is fighting uncertainties. It is trying to cancel the prarabdha. It is trying to cancel the negative energy, but using your own physical energy. It is using your own, you can say, aura or your own spiritual force. So in that case, you will have to replenish it. So this is the right time to take healings. People who are facing court issues, people who are facing family disputes will see things moving their way provided Saturn finds it deserving. When Mars is in 6th and Saturn is 6th from 6th, remember that Saturn becomes the prarabdha for this Mars. And if you are having that, if you will have that fighting spirit, because this will improve your willpower, Saturn's gain will come towards you. This can help you launch new initiatives. This is a very good time for startups, new and budding entrepreneurs, engineers who are pursuing engineering or who wants to study in the science of metal, who wants to study in alternative energy, and also someone who is practicing holistic healing. People who are in sports, athletic, who are athletes will also see things moving their way in positive direction. But you should, and everyone in fact, all who are Aries ascendant and also Aries moon sign should protect and defend yourself from injuries and adventures. This is not the time when you will take a risk. This is the time to strategize and plan, because Mars is here to solve your problems. Chanting Hanuman Chalisa 3 times every day will be extremely helpful, because when Mars goes in 6th, you should bow down to Bhagwan Hanuman. Taurus. Now, in case of Taurus, you have to understand that Mars is a very crucial planet. It rules your 7th house, it rules your 12th house. 7th house is about establishing relationship, building alliances, it's about marriage. And 12th house is about moving abroad. It is about your losses. It is about what you can give. So this Mars, when it comes in your 5th house, it is actually the gain of your alliances. And it may be an alliance that you have not expected. It is an alliance that is coming from far off distance. Maybe it is a communication between 2 people from different continents, different countries. So definitely this is going to work wonderfully for you. Mars coming in 5th house can also improve your confidence, can make you iron-like committed person, and this can also help you build physically so that you can improve on the, say, physical weight or improving your muscles, so that your strength will improve, you will feel much fitter, and because you are much fitter, your productivity will increase. See, this Mars being the 12th lord coming in the 5th house means your vyay, expenses are coming to the 5th house. So here you will see that you might also, if your Mars is negative in your birth chart, can do opposite, can eat more, because Mars is also calories. So you need to ensure that you are burning more calories, you are using vyay, the expense energy. So spend more energy through your stomach. So burning fat is the theme, not consuming it. The second thing is that it will bring extra expenses towards your children, towards your family. So you have to build your relationship and plan your life accordingly. And when Mars is 11th from the 7th house, it truly shows gain of marriage. So if you are eligible for marriage, this can bring that. It will bring passion and enthusiasm in love and romance. This can establish new connections. But you also have to be careful. If you have a negative moon, it can make you possessive, it can make you dominating, and if things don't go your way, you might feel irritated, especially if you are by birth an exalt Mars native. So these are the few angles which you have to observe. This can also create issues with your in-laws, so be careful. But it can also bring in investors who are motivated, who have power, and who can give lot of growth and push to your business. Mars will be aspecting the 7th house, and Mars will also be aspecting the 12th house. Now this is weird. Mars being in Virgo actually aspects Aries zodiac sign, which is your 12th house. And that is why you need to cut down on your expenses. You need to have less hunger for material things, that means less of material desire. And because Mars is Urja, energy, and it is redirected to past life positive karma, Purva Punya, then going back into the past and solving things, harnessing positive energy from your own past accomplishment, focusing on your physical as well as spiritual self, and chanting lots and lots and lots of mantras are recommended. And this will be the theme of Mars transit in Virgo for you. Gemini. Now, in case of Gemini, Mars again is a very important planet for you. First of all, it rules your 11th house. So it rules your gains, it rules your network circle, Labhastan, anything where you can achieve profit. So Mars is like that gatekeeper who if positive, will allow positive things to come in your life, and if it becomes negative, it will be very difficult to find your way out. The resistance will be very high. So first of all, you have to chant Angarak Stotra or any Mangal mantra, Mars mantra, so that you make Mars happy, so that it allows that positive energy to flow in your life. And then Mars rules your 6th house. It rules Prarabdha. So if you see, both difficulty and the solution, problem and the solution is with Mars in your case. And this Mars comes in the 4th house. Now this is a tricky situation. On one side, Mars being in the 4th house, it's debilitated in Cancer, which is natural 4th house. So this is a Mars which is, want you to focus your energy towards your comfort zone. Maybe you are frustrated with the place in which you live. You are frustrated with the car that you are driving, or you are frustrated with the gadgets or electronics that you are using, and now you want to upgrade. So this is where the gains will come. But to get that gain, maybe you will take a loan, maybe you will apply a house loan. Now there you will have to be watchful, because you will see both the 11th house and the 6th house energy coming into play. So on one side it will be gain, but the gain will have a caveat that you are fulfilling your prarabdha or your duty. So first you will have to ensure that whatever your duties are in your life, you are fulfilling it, and then the gains will happen automatically. This Mars will try to make you focus on your career more, because Mars will directly aspect 7th and 10th house. If you see, Mars is also aspecting 11th house. So kind of Mars being in the 4th house wants you to be more and more comfortable in the suit you are in, like in the career you are in, the way you earn, the way you manage people. So this can make you, think a lot. Initially it will be little uncomfortable, but very soon this Mars, especially when it goes in Hasta Nakshatra, will make you take initiatives towards all these matters. Yes, emotional matters will trouble you, but mundane life activities will show growth and possibilities when Mars will be in 4th house. Health of your mother can be a bit challenging, or some arguments, some problems that you have in your family might irritate you, because after all, the 6th house energy is disruptive in nature. It is an energy that can trigger the negative event, because only when the negative surfaces is when you will find a solution. That is why 4th house is also house of comfort and surrender. So just surrender yourself to Bhagwan Hanuman. I am giving a very big task to you. You have to chant 100 Hanuman Chalisas in 100 days. Or in the duration of this Mars in Virgo, you take a sankalp that within this duration, you will complete 100 Hanuman Chalisa, and you will feed 11 people, 11 poor, hungry people anywhere in the world. Remotely, physically going there, your call. You will see that because of this philanthropic activity, your 6th house energies will be triggered. You are doing seva, your energy is being used in seva, and that will be really helpful. And people who have blood related issue, heart related issue, should be slightly careful. Stress can be your biggest enemy at this point of time. Cancer zodiac. Now for Kark Lagna, Kark Rashi, Mars coming in the sign of Virgo is exceptionally good, because Mars is Karka of the 3rd house, and 3rd house represents your siblings, your initiatives, your courage, your power, your will to function. And Mars being in the 3rd house actually triggers you, motivates you in positive direction, and gives you that necessary push, that enthusiasm that you very much need. Mars being in the 3rd house can also encourage short distance travel. People who are involved in tourism sector, travel industry will see great boost. People who are involved in automobile industry, or who have the showroom of bikes and cycles, will also see something positive in their direction. Energy sector will see boost. Lighting industry, like bulbs and neon lights, will see boost during this time. And Mars being in the house of communication will empower your communication, and your communication will be charged and full of motivation, and you will have that passion being displayed when you will communicate, not only through your verbal, but also through non-verbal communication. Especially if you're a lawyer, if you are someone who debates a lot, who go into public debates, you will see that Mars will protect you from negative energy. Mars have its 4th aspect on the 6th house. Henceforth, it will push you to resolve issues in your life, or you will be forced to. Mars will protect you from enemies by making you more and more defensive, self-aware, and becoming more protective towards life. Mars aspect on the 9th house can also initiate and encourage you to visit, take a pilgrimage or visit a religious or spiritual place. Also, Mars will see that you are now gathering strength so that you can be one with your family. You can stand shoulder to shoulder and give your contribution, which will boost your confidence, your morale, and also will give you that true masculine feeling. Doesn't matter whether you're a male or female, this will give you that true masculine feeling of achievement, success, and satisfaction. The only problem is that if you try to take initiatives without planning, without strategy, then Mars 8th aspect on the 10th house will disrupt your career. This disruption should be constructive, not destructive, which means while your energy is coming in your communication, you should not be intimidating, you should not be unnecessarily argumentative, you should not be someone who is engaging into fights and debates and wasting your energy. Wastage of energy should be prevented at any cost. Doesn't matter whether it's your physical force, it's your mental energy, or it's the energy of your home, gas, light, electricity, anything. Also, you will see that this will encourage you to engage into multiple activities, redirecting your mind, because this will be full of energy. So you would want to invest that energy somewhere. Be mindful, because efforts are good, karma is good, but pushing a wall will not move the building. So your efforts should also be in the right direction. So seek that guidance whenever and wherever necessary. Leo. Now for Leo, Mars is Yogakaraka planet. Mars is a fire planet. It rules a fire zodiac sign of Aries from the 9th house and rules the water zodiac sign of Scorpio from the 4th house. And this Mars goes in your 2nd house. So definitely this is going to increase your wealth. It is going to increase competition. It is going to bring prosperity in your home, and your Mars is going to strategize all the resources. Sometimes you have to have a well-planned ideas or well-planned approach so that whatever resource you have, you make the best use of it. So that is exactly what Mars will do. It will encourage you to, in spite of not testing your luck, it will make you focus more on your true dharma. But sometimes this Mars can be really possessive about the energy. See, try to see the complicated energies of this Mars. Mars is 6th from the 9th house. So it's the prarabdha of your dharma. That means you will show your true intention during this time, consciously or unconsciously. Second, Mars is 11th from the 4th house. Therefore, this is the time when you will be more materialistic in nature. You would want more assets and more resources, not for bad, but for good. But then there is a chance that it can convert into battle for property, battle for real estate, battle for assets. It can become a dispute within the family. You have to keep that in control, especially the way you express your facial expression and your non-verbal expression when you are communicating something. You cannot be dominating, intimidating, whereas you will have to be cooperative in nature as much as possible. This Mars will have 4th aspect on the 5th house, so you will also defend your knowledge. Now that can be a dangerous thing. See, defending your knowledge is good. Basically, you have learned, you have spent your life, you have experience, but you should be also open to learning. Mars, the problem with Mars is very rigid in nature, and if it decides to sit at a point and prove itself, then it is very difficult to explain. So it can be a situation where it becomes very difficult to explain what is right and what is wrong. And if you go into that domain, then it will become a problem. Sun, which is coming on your ascendant, will add more ego. This is inflation of lot of things, Be watchful of these energies. Otherwise, it's actually good. See, Sun coming in first house is gain of confidence, gain of personality. Your aura, your projection will improve and you will become more and more positive. But on the other hand, in the matters related to emotions, personal space, marriage, when Sun and Mars have less of a role, there, if you project these energies, it will be a lot of heated up energy. So your feminine side of life will be experiencing negative masculine energy. So that intersection has to be addressed and managed carefully. In such a case, chanting Devi Suktam and going to Durga temple or simply chanting Durga Saptashati will be exceptionally helpful for you. Virgo. Now for Virgo, Mars is a very interesting planet. It rules your 8th house, it rules 8th from 8th, which is 3rd house. So it rules all the uncertainties, all the challenges, your in-laws, joint assets with your spouse, investments coming in from other people. Also the 3rd house, your own initiatives, your own capability, your skills, and your communication, your listening ability, that is ruled by Mars. So when Mars comes in 1st house, it improves your listening ability. But this can also make you rigid, which will disturb your harmonious relation with your spouse, and especially if you are doing something in a joint like you have joint assets, you say your house is in both of your name, or if you have a business or if you're working together at the same place, be mindful of any ego clashes. Do not be very rigid in your stance. You can have a kind of a justification of what you're saying, but then you also will have to be flexible. Mars in Virgo is not flexible. Mars in Virgo is a great strategist, a great planner, but sometimes Mars may think that what he is doing, whatever is his research, is the ultimate thing. So in that case, little bit of humbleness will be needed. You also have to see that Mars being in Virgo will experience a retrograde Saturn in the 6th house and Rahu in the 8th house. Now you see Mars coming in Lagna is suddenly realizing that there is enemy in the 6th, there is problems in Rahu in the 8th. So Mars will suddenly start planning. This may make planning to safeguard you, but this may make you over defensive. This may make you go and think a lot, and you will start preparing for a defense or creating a fort around you where you don't even need. Because Mars also aspects the 4th house and 7th house, you will try to protect your assets, you will try to protect your house. Maybe you will buy an extra insurance. See, everything is all right until and unless it is crossing a certain limit. So if it is not crossing limit, then you are good to go. Mars in 1st house will also fill you with positive vibration, the charm, the youthfulness, and the positive aura will bring that positive influence. So if you are an influencer, wherever you will go, people will love your energy and you will be appreciated and accepted. But only and only if this Mars is not a roaring tiger kind of Mars, but rather a friendly, powerful Mars. So it's more like two world leaders handshaking each other and showing the appreciation towards each other, but not fighting with each other. And when Mars comes in the 1st house, you will have to be watchful on how you're dealing the marriage. Usually when Mars is in 1st house, it is called Mangal Dosha. So you have to watch out how you're dealing with marriage, how you are, whether you are fulfilling your duties. Small little duties, everyday activities should be given more focus than the big scale of work. But if you do that, Mars in Virgo is actually very good. It curbs down your enemies, it helps you fight, it helps you become battle ready. It gives you that motivation, enthusiasm, the energy that you always needed. And the biggest thing is Mars in 1st house, if in positive, will kill lethargy. So if your Mars is positive in your horoscope, doesn't matter wherever it is. When Mars comes to Virgo, and if you are a Virgo ascendant or even a Virgo moon sign, this is the time to cheer up. This is the time to fill yourself with energy. And this is the time to do the impossible. So if anything that is not happening till now it will happen. And for those who have Mars negative, you should chant Hanuman Chalisa 7 times every day. Libra. Now for Libra ascendant, Mars rules your 2nd and 7th house, 7th being Aries, 2nd being Scorpio. So definitely Mars is ruling your personal space, it is ruling your family life, it is ruling your marriage, and this Mars goes in the 12th house. Now you have to understand that 12th house is the house of isolation. And when Mars goes there, it makes you more introvert. It wants you to work, but in like, lone warrior, in a one-man stand, like you're a one-man army there, and you are not getting help from the team, or you're not, maybe you're in a position where you don't want to take any help. So this is the kind of situation where Mars works in your favor, but also kind of against you. 12th house can be also called as Vyay Bhav, house of expenses, house of donation, house of charity. So a portion of it you should do the charity, because second lord is in 12th house. That means if you don't spend, your money will not come to you. Somehow your income will be driven through expenses. Now that does not mean that you go and waste the money or you spend lavishly when you can't even afford. But what it means is manage your expenses and don't fully control, don't fully block your money. Rather spend it, do something that you like, go for a vacation. Sometimes let the wealth flow. Chanting Mahalakshmi mantra, bringing Lakshmi Kuber Yantra in your home, and doing some satsang in your house or havan or yajna will also work wonders. Mars in the 12th house can also make you full of rage and revenge if seen from the negative side. So that is also one area where you will have to be watchful. When 7th lord comes in the 12th house, it is on the other hand very good for establishing foreign contacts. It is good for people who want to work in pharmaceutical or medical industry. It is very good for people who want to do export and imports. People who want to who work on fiber optics, engineering, data, machinery, who wants to import and export stuff, anything that is related with Mars, who wants to expand the real estate and construction business in a non-local, you can say, location. All this will work beautifully, but then because it is the 12th house and because 12th house holds the energy of Pisces from the Kalpurush, you will have to be watchful there, because Mars may also burn your energy very quickly and put you into a self-destruct mode if not given proper guidance and proper channelization. So you might need a guru, a hand holding, a guide. So talk to a healer, talk to an advisor, talk to someone whom you trust, and discuss what your next steps are, discuss your emotions, vent out your emotions at the right and proper forum. Because if not, this can convert into hidden emotion getting outburst at a very wrong place at a wrong time, destroying relations. Mars will also aspect your 3rd house, which means because of the fear of losses, you won't be able to take any initiative or decision. And that can be a bigger problem. You will hold back on your decision because you are scared that you might lose. Also, Mars aspects the 7th house with the 8th aspect. Although it's its own zodiac sign, it can be damaging to relationship, partnerships, and you might lose business partners or friends. So you have to be humble, watchful, and chant Hanuman Chalisa. Scorpio. For Scorpio, Mars rules your ascendant and your 6th house. So when Mars goes in Virgo, Mars is going in your 11th house, and 11th house is about gain. 11th house is about profits, and first lord coming in 11th house shows wish fulfillment. Your desires will become true. Your desires will be fulfilled. Your wish will come true. Your manifestation will bring things happening, will bring things positive in your life, will make things happen, and the law of attraction will work wonderfully at this point of time. Now, Mars is your ascendant lord. So ascendant is also health. Overall life situation. Comes to 11th house, it increases that possibility of great and good health. It increases possibility of you connecting with people, making things happen. There's a teamwork happening. People are helping and supporting you. So it's a great transit. It can build you a network circle, and you can get business partner, you can get guidance. It is a brilliant time. So if you want to do something at this point of time where previously you were kind of unable to do, there were some hindrance, this may be the time when you can think about it. especially if it is about entrepreneurship, it is about startups, it is about doing something in niche sector, engineering sector. Maybe you're thinking for space exploration, maybe you're thinking for new software, new game. This is going to be the time for that. Esports will see a lot of growth and boost during this time. Also, Mars aspects the second house, therefore it increases the bank account. The possibility of you gaining wealth will also increase. But yes, you will become more possessive towards your family and you will spend more money. But that's okay if you can manage it. Mars also aspects the fifth house, encouraging you to learn more. You might also see that there will be criticism coming in your way from the network circle, or you might experience that someone knows better than you, because Mars is all about competition and winning. You will also try to go into a healthy competition and win. That is actually good. And when Mars, which is the sixth lord, comes in the 11th house, it is Bhavad Bhavam. It reduces the potency of the sixth house, therefore reducing your enemies and increasing your friends. There can be a possibility that someone whom you thought as an enemy will come out as your good friend. Sometimes criticism is good for growth. So overall for Scorpio, it's an excellent time. Praying the Hanuman mantra, Manojavam Martatulya Vegam, Jitendriyam Buddhimatam Varishtam, Vatatmajam Vanara Youth Mukhyam, Shri Ramadutam Sharanam Prapadye. Chant this mantra 27 times every day. Sagittarius. In case of Sagittarius, Mars rules your 5th house and 12th house, and this Mars comes in the 10th house. See, when 5th lord comes in 10th house, you start gaining things. You start gaining reputation. Your expression, your skill, your knowledge will create a kind of a platform for you where you can stand and deliver and show your potentials. This is good for your career. And 12th lord coming in the 10th house also means chance of relocation, also means growth of career in foreign countries. Maybe you're working in an MNC, maybe you are trying to relocate to a different city. All that possibilities come true. This might also resolve work permit, visa related issues for anyone who is trying to move countries or cities. This also gives a chance of you rethinking about your comfort in your own current work position. And you may improvise, you may change the way you work, you may change the way the career comes to you. All that is fine, but remember one thing, that you should not take a leap of faith. Continue with a little bit of POC and focus on what you can really do rather than assuming that you can do something. Mars' 4th aspect will be on ascendant. And because of that, you will be full of energy. You will be full of enthusiasm. Mars will give you that potential. Mars will give you that energy. And Mars will also aspect the 4th house, ensuring that you are thinking about your own comfort. So this is the time when you know your place in society, you know your place and act accordingly, which means your dignity will increase and you will now understand what you deserve and where you are. And that is a great realization for any human being. So pray to Bhagwan Hanuman and keep moving, keep learning. Remember, the more you learn, the better your career and your life will be. Capricorn. In case of Capricorn, Mars is again a vital planet because Mars rules your 11th house and 4th house. 11th house is Scorpio and 4th house is Aries. So when Mars controls your Sukh Bhava and your gain, so definitely it is ruling your assets, your income. And that Mars goes in a trine position in the 9th house. And this is a brilliant position with respect to, both Aries as well as Scorpio. Now, when Mars is in 9th house, it is in the Bhavad Bhavam position. Why? Because 11th Lord is 11 places away from itself in the 9th house. So this gives you exceptional amount of gains. This gives you proper guidance. This gives you good relation with your father. But Mars being Mars, this can overwhelm the communication and your family's expectation towards you, which in order to fulfill, you might end up losing your comfort, which you might sacrifice something from your life that you like. So be watchful of these kind of expectations from you, and what are you sacrificing? Because if you sacrifice what you should not, then the 4th house will get damaged and you will become restless. One of the major reason is that Mars being in the 9th aspects the 12th house. And because Mars aspects the 12th house, it will kind of give you a situation where there is comfort in isolation. When Mars goes in the 9th house, it means that Mars wants you to spend your energy towards spiritual practices. Mars wants you to take some pilgrimage. It wants to invest your gains into some sort of spiritual journey. You can join a meditation class. You can go into different spiritual centers that are near you. And you can also join a kind of a commune or a group, because 9th house is also collective consciousness. And when Mars is in 9th house, it aspects your 3rd house. So when you try to communicate with at an energy level, when you get the healing, when you're practicing healing, when you are in that energized zone, it is going to heal you from within and give you that positive energy and will end up helping you bring in gains in your life. So overall, this is going to be an excellent transit, especially just because of the fact that it is a Bhavat Bhavam of the 11th house. Aquarius. Now for Aquarius, Mars will be transiting your 8th house, and Mars rules your 3rd house, Mars rules your 10th house. Mars is a very important planet. It rules activity in your life. 3rd house being your courage, 10th house being your karma. And when it goes in your 8th house, it means transformation coming in your career, transformation coming through your own actions, transformation coming in your relationship with your supervisor, with your boss, with your own, you can say the whatever learning you have and how you are implementing in your business or in your job. But because 8th house is a very difficult position, and if Mars, which is the karaka of desire, kama, goes into this 8th house, this can increase or inflammate desire. This can inflammate negative energy and tamasic energy within you. So how to counter this? You can counter this by doing sadhana, yoga, chanting a mantra, maybe a mantra of Mangal, or maybe you can pray to Bhagwan Hanuman by chanting Om Ham Hanumate Namah repeatedly, like 1008 chanting every day. Because of the nature of the 8th house, it has this potential to give you surprises. When Mars goes there, it desires for that surprise. It craves for that surprises. It wants to focus its energy towards taking a risk. So on one side, this can increase your risk-taking appetite, but on the other hand, this can also create trouble in the family. This can create trouble with your in-laws. This can create argumentative behavior. This can also create issues with your brother by Mars being in the 8th aspecting the 3rd house. But on the other hand, Mars will be very protective towards your gain. So I cannot say that the Mars intention is negative, because when Mars 4th aspect falls, it falls on your 11th house. So Mars wants to give you that protection, that cover. So this can make you hyper defensive in your nature, and someone with negative moon can be over anxious. So what should you do? Be very practical, be very grounded, and think the positive side of life and don't think about the negative side. There will be surprises, there will be ups and downs and twists and turns. Just ride the flow. Don't react to every situation that happens in your life. First observe, assess the situation, plan, and then execute, even if there is a slight delay. You also have to understand that this is a Mars which is going, in Shadashtak with Shani. That means Mars and Saturn are once again in 6-8 formation. And this time Mars will be in the 8th house from Shani. So this means this Mars can create a situation where you are caught in an unnecessary war, you are being caught in an unnecessary internal fight, and if you need help, you should take help. Healing is necessary during this time. If you use this time as a time of recovery, as a time to protect yourself, as a time to shield yourself from the negativity and detoxify, then you will be in the right spot. So do a lot of detoxification, chanting Devi Suktam, chanting Durga Saptashati, praying to Bhagwan Hanuman by chanting Bajrang Band under the Guru's guidance will be extremely helpful during this time. Pisces. Now in case of Pisces, Mars movement will be in the 7th house. And when Mars goes in 7th house, it has an aspect on 3 important houses: 10th, 1st, 2nd. Mars in the 7th house is usually kind of an irritated Mars to a certain extent. Because Mars do not want truce. Mars is a planet of war. It's a soldier. And again, as I said, when it goes in the 7th house, it is kind of a peacekeeping force. So what should you do? You should also do the same, play the same role. Instead of interfering, observe. Instead of judging, wait. Unless you are being asked for an advice, don't give. Don't try to involve into someone else's matter or life. Be within yourself, be content with what you have. And if you are married, try to not do anything that can irritate the situation. Focus on smaller activities and small daily things that might, create a situation which is non-harmonious, which is more debatable, that can create more fight. Try to stay away from any political opinion during this time and focus more on your career. There will be criticism coming your way. Take the constructive criticism positively, and anything that is negative, just reject it, discard it. So you need to have that emotion to let go. Now, anyone who cannot let go might find it difficult because Mars will be aspecting your ascendant. That means things will be more thrown towards you. So this time the energy is directed towards you and towards your dignity, self-respect. So it may be the case where the fight which started with trivial or silly matters becomes ugly. So in that case, you need to have that restraint, that balance, that control on yourself. And that is what is the demand. But the problem is that until 4th of September, Venus will be retrograde in the sign of Cancer, which is your 5th house. So you need to have that learning curve. You need to focus on how to manage the situation tactfully, smartly. Brute strength might not work here. That is why you need to pray to Bhagwan Hanuman or Ma Durga. You can chant Durga Saptashati. You can chant any Durga mantra. Bring Durga yantra at home. Do some Havan, Yagya and some spiritual activity. Walk a lot. Keep changing the situation in front of you by moving around and doing activity. And you can also plan a trip with your spouse. For people who are looking for marriage, this is a good time, but rather I will say that be watchful of your agitated emotions. Sometimes you may become desperate, sometimes you may act out of anxiety, and that may result into negative output. But on the other hand, Mars aspect on the 2nd house, Mars aspect on the 10th house will also give you that sense of motivation where you will be pushed towards building new strategy for your business. If you have a brand new business, you will be putting your day in and out into that, and that will actually become more productive and you will gain much more than you have anticipated during this time. So when Mars is in the 2nd house, you need to draw your energy from everywhere around you and take inspiration. And if you do that, you will find your way and you won't be lost in your own thoughts.